12 Ages of Human Society, the Trilogy. Author Joey Ferns, read by Joey Ferns. Book 1, A Practical Framework, Building Blocks to Become a Centenarian, a Billionaire, and a Saint. Prologue. The human body has the potential to live beyond 100 years. The human mind has the potential to think the infinite. The human soul has the potential to reach the heights of sanctity. Upon reaching 50 years of age, I am at the halfway point of my life's journey, and I see this as my wake-up call to acknowledge my body, enlighten my mind, and purify my soul to reach my full potential as a human person, and thus setting a goal to become a centenarian, a billionaire, and a saint is my way of realizing this ideal. This is quite a joyous and momentous occasion as I give thanks for all that I have received and experienced over the last 50 years. I acknowledge that I did not give life to myself, nor did I grow up having all the wonderful life experiences without there being someone or something exterior to me that enabled it all to happen. The ability to give thanks for the gift of life is a deep and profound experience that is only available to a human person. Gratitude is only possible when one can acknowledge the presence of another entity who must be supernatural to be able to give life, and to whom one owes a debt of gratitude that we can never repay in material terms, and the only way to reciprocate is by way of a spiritual acknowledgement and thanksgiving. Gratitude is not possible when there is no one to be grateful to, or when what has been done can be reciprocated in material terms, or when what has been received is purely in the material realm, or when one rejects the supernatural realm. Gratitude, like life, is a divine gift, and it allows us to use our freedom to be grateful, despite our weakness, our failings, our inability to recognize fully what we have received, including our rejection of the source of this gift. It causes us to lift ourselves from the material realm into the spiritual realm, to acknowledge someone other than ourselves, or our parents, or our friends, or our society, or our culture. It allows us to acknowledge someone bigger than everyone else and everything else in our material world. A person who cannot be grateful is dead, not the physical sense, but the spiritual sense. But can someone be alive in the body and not alive in the soul? They can if they lock themselves up inside the physical dimension and reject everything that belongs to the spiritual dimension. One does not need to be grateful for anything if one feels that one is just a product of the natural universe, or if one feels that one is just a part of the natural cycle of life, where new life emerges, grows, reproduces, and dies. One does not need to be grateful if there is no connection with the supernatural. One does not need to be grateful if one feels that life is just what happens whilst the heart is beating and the lungs are breathing and the brain is thinking, and ceases when all these life functions stop. But if one has not been locked into just existing at the physical realm, then one has a lot to be grateful for. One must be grateful for the key aspects of our life that we are not able to control or produce synthetically, such as sensations and feelings, thoughts and emotions, conscience and yearning for the supernatural, and the ability of the soul, through its faith in the supernatural, to trust, dream, and achieve goals far beyond the imaginable. The key aspects of our innermost being do not belong to the physical realm, rather to a spiritual realm. By owning these key aspects, we participate in a spiritual realm and owe their existence within us to someone outside of us that too must exist within the spiritual realm and must possess all of the key aspects to infinity. Only an infinite being can give that which is infinite, because a finite being cannot give that which is infinite, and an infinite being cannot give that which is finite. But one can say, life is finite because when the body dies, life is over. This is incorrect, as life can only be finite if that life exists inside a physical being. But when that life exists inside a spiritual being, that life is infinite and carries on even beyond physical death. We, humans, are spiritual beings as we possess a soul, and thus the life of a human is infinite and continues even after the body dies. One can also say, how can feelings be classed as a supernatural gift? Aren't our feelings a product of what we experience in the physical realm? No. Feelings do not exist in the physical realm. They always exist in the supernatural realm. One can feel happy when one is eating ice cream on a hot sunny day by the beach. One can also feel happy when one is striving and pushing the body to its limits to achieve an Olympic gold. And one can also feel happy when one is willing to give up one's life for a just and divine cause. In all three examples, the feeling of happiness is not a product of the physical state. Rather, it is an overflowing of the spiritual state into the physical state. One needs to be grateful to be true to oneself. One needs to be grateful to become what one is destined to become. One needs to be grateful to use the experiences of the past and to build on them to strive to even greater achievement, the achievement of perfection. But humans are not perfect, it is said. Yes, humans are not perfect, and this is evident in all our thoughts, words, and actions. But to be fully human and fully alive, we have to strive towards that which is perfect and towards the one who has given us all that we need to become perfect. One needs to be grateful not to the universe in which we live, not to nature, not to our parents, not to ourselves, not to the stars, in fact, not to anything created. For all the things created are finite, and one day these shall pass away. But one needs to be grateful solely, fully, and completely to the author of life itself, who is infinitely perfect, whose existence is within itself and does not depend on anything outside of itself, who was, is, and always will be, and is the wellspring of life, and us as humans are invited to become partakers and sharers of the divine eternal life. It is up to us to accept or reject this invitation.